I'm Mayze, and I'm going to be talking about social media and the effect that it's had on millions of us. Literally billions of us have been affected by social media. And as you can see behind me, we're in the glorious city of London. There's no iconic landmarks, but there's a skyscraper. Just trust me on this, we are definitely in London. And as any good London, we're not from London, but if we were, we need to cue some sort of touristy type montage. A compilation of clips to let you know that we've been to London. So we'll cue that now. So, as I said in the intro, today we'll be talking about social media and different sites and things. So, we're going to start off with Twitter, because we can. Twitter is the bastard child of Jack Dorsey, a web designer from Missouri. Developed in 2006, Twitter has supposedly become one of the highest trafficking websites on Bing, apparently, which doesn't really mean anything. It's kind of like saying you have the most money on Club Penguin. No one cares.
In all seriousness, Jack and friends have done extremely well for themselves in these past 10 years and have managed to create one of the most influential and original websites/concepts ever designed. If you forgot about Facebook, which we didn't. Designed by student Mark Zuckerberg at university, where he worked hard all the time, like all good students don't, he created Facebook, which was a site created for him and his friends to talk. But then it became this big deal, where you could interact with other people, and there was suddenly this idea of telling people what you were doing. All of the time.
In the year of 2016, this activity has become so prolific that in fact it's almost become a necessity. Like the first thing you do when you see something interesting happen, you whip out your phone and you tell the world about it.
Take this eye-opening clip shot from an iPhone in the middle of an earthquake. An earthquake, ladies and gentlemen. This man looked out the window, saw there was an earthquake, and then proceeded to take out his phone. No, I'm sorry. I really can't do this. I've got to. No, this is too much. This is stupid. And here we have President Coolio Obama taking a selfie at Nelson Mandela's funeral. Social media is extremely well known for ridiculing people. For example, last year Iggy Azalea quit Twitter, saying he was making her into a quote-unquote angry person.
Iggy Azalea was reported as saying she doesn't like jokes, which is pretty ironic actually, because the other day I was in a bar and I saw an Englishman, an Irishman and a Scotsman, and something particularly funny happened. But you'll never know. Okay, so next up we have online dating. Now I'm not the one to talk about online dating, so I'm not going to. So here's Mark Restuccia talking about it.
It is probably the most addictive thing you can possibly get involved in. If you want to find a soulmate, I wouldn't bother, because you'll literally go out with someone and you'll be chatting to about 20 or 30 other people, and then you'll be thinking about the next person while you're on a date with someone that seems perfectly adequate, and 9 times out of 10 there'll be something wrong with her that you wouldn't find wrong with anyone if you met them in the normal world. But just because there's so much availability, it is just an absolute minefield. It's like, and you'll find yourself turning into a serial dater within about a month, and then you'll only date other serial daters. You'll basically be like Dexter, but as a serial dater instead of a serial killer. Tinder would fit our society today because of our attention span being so small. If you notice, like Vine, for example, has got like a 6-second loop, and if you find yourself on YouTube, like watching a YouTube video that somebody's posted on Facebook, you'll sometimes get a thing that says skip ad in 5 seconds, and I bet 9 times out of 10 you're like, this is dragging on a bit, isn't it? So our attention span is like 0, so you don't want to spend 2 minutes looking through a profile and reading about someone when you can just see someone and go, oh, she's nice, she's not, she's nice, she's not. And it's just a travesty that this is what the world has become. And it is so shallow that you can sit there for, in your spare time, just pick it out off your phone on the train or whatever, or on the bog. I think, as I told you earlier, my friend came up with a charming little phrase that he'd been through 2 shits worth of Tinders that day, and it's literally just yep, no, and you get a match, and you get a little ego boost, and then start chatting and normally bollocks it up within about 2 or 3 sentences, move on to the next one, just because they're there. I wouldn't say online dating is for socially inept people anymore. But it did have a stigma for that for ages, and it took a good few years to get out of that. But it's just people. It's for lazy people. That's all it is. You can't be bothered to. Why bother going to chat someone up in a bar and then, you know, have that risk of that horrific knockback in front of all your mates when you can chat someone up online and just not get a reply? Nobody knows. So it's kind of like it takes the whole kind of. I don't know. It takes the balls out of dating. You just kind of, because you can do it. It's there, and nobody needs to know whether you've been rejected by someone or whatever. You just don't get a reply, and then you move on.
Thanks for that, Mark. Well, in this next bit, we have online gaming. So who better to talk about online gaming than me? Okay, there's probably lots of other people, but it's the only person I can get, alright? Video games. They've been around for literally ages, but only in the past 10 or so years have they become more social, and you've been forced to play online and meet new people. I don't know about you, but I have trouble making friends in a real world, let alone some sort of made-up second world.
Take World of Warcraft for example. It is regarded as one of the greatest video game breakthroughs ever. This is simply because of how huge the game was. I'm not saying that the company Blizzard, who created the game, also created the genre of the massively multiplayer online role-playing game, but I am saying that they completely changed how the world perceived video games, forever. In World of Warcraft, you can play as whoever or whatever you want. You can play as an elf-type skeleton man thing, you can play as Andre the Giant, you can play as Shrek, you can play as a grunt from Halo. The opportunities are endless for this game. Honestly, if you haven't played this game yet, I highly recommend you buy it. You may be about 10 years late, but it's your own fault for being a worthless sack of shit. No video game segment would be complete without giving a mention to the best-selling video game of all time, Grand Theft Auto. Now, the idea of playing online with people on GTA is strange to me, because I've always seen GTA as a solo mission. I've always enjoyed the fact that you can have a bad day at work or college or whatever, and just come home and take it out on some civilians. Like this, you can just run up and shoot this guy in the face. And that guy. And that guy over there. God, this game is just awesome. I just love GTA, mate. Oh, it's just beautiful. Next up on the list is, of course, the extremely popular, awful video game franchise that is Call of Duty. An obvious contender as it may be, Call of Duty did in fact play a huge part in early online gaming, with the most famous game being Call of Duty Black Ops. Before Black Ops, there hadn't really been a COD game that had everything balanced out so well. You could almost go as far as say it was a perfect game, if you were some kind of idiot. It is without mentioning that the franchise has become so oversaturated now that in my eyes it's just completely died. I mean, recently they released Call of Duty Black Ops 3, which seems to be the first game in history to contain less than one level. Honestly, by far my favourite thing about Call of Duty franchise is the fanbase. I mean, honestly, if you're looking for nice people on the internet, there is no further place you need to look than Call of Duty. Just buy the game, get online, just get your mic in, get talking to some kids, right? Because they're all quality.
Well, your mum, 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 your mum.
Well, that's been my documentary. I hope you've enjoyed. We've had some laughs. We've had some facts. We've that's about it, really. Yeah. Cheers. Right, should we cut the camera? Cool.